Hello and welcome again to Racecraft. I'm George May. This time I'm going to do something a bit different from V8 Sigmas and Scorpions. We're going to put a supercharger on this T-bucket. And what we're going to use is this beauty here. This is a Y-and 671 blower. We're going to put that on with EFI. Now the reason for the EFI is so that we've got complete control over the fuel mixtures and the timing, so we're not going to have to muck around with boost reference carburetors and so forth. So this is what's going to go on, and in a later video I'll show you the EFI that's going to go on the top of it. Alright, in order to fuel inject this T-bucket, we obviously have to put fuel injectors in it. So that's the hat off the top of the blower. And what I'm going to do is use these injector holders that I make, and I'm going to drill and tap the side out and screw 8 injectors into this top plate. Now I could do it with less injectors by using a big generous injector, but I like the idea of having 8 of them in there so we get a good spread of fuel all over the top of the blower. Now the reason for injecting it at the top of the blower is because the blower needs to be cooled and lubricated to some extent, and having the fuel come in on the top of the blower is the easiest way to do it. Fuel distribution should be pretty good because we're spreading the fuel over such a large area. Now in order to run this motor we're going to need some sort of engine management computer. Now I quite like the Wolf 3D version 4. This is actually a very old computer, and if you want one you're going to have a look around on eBay or Gumtree, somewhere like that. But they are available and they're really cheap to buy. Now I like them because they've got these diagnostic lights on them. So at a glance you can see whether your injectors are working, whether your ignition's working, whether the input trigger's working, even whether the power's on. So this is one that I've bought. It's got a cut loom on it, but that's not a problem. I'll just extend the loom. And because the 350 Chev is not an elaborate engine, it doesn't have variable anything, all we need to do is control the spark and the timing. And this is well and truly up to the job. These are really robust old things. You'll get them really, really cheap online or wherever you can find them. So as you can see, I've drilled and tapped the blower top for the injector holders. These are the injector holders I'm going to use, so they will simply screw straight into there and blow the fuel down straight onto the top of the blower. So they go in, injectors simply plug in, and then I'll use this fuel rail material that you'd buy off the internet, Rocket, BPW, all sorts of places have got it. So I'll make 2 fuel rails, then I'm just going to make some brackets to secure them on so the fuel pressure doesn't push them off. Here's a good shot of the 2 throttle bodies mounted up on top of the manifolds. As you can see, the injector holders are in the fuel rails on top of those. There's the throttle linkage. I've actually been able to set the throttle linkage up so it's a little bit progressive. So when you open the throttle it's not going to be all on all at once. It's almost impossible to see down there, but I've used a Chevy TBI throttle body injection distributor. The beauty of using one of those is that it doesn't have vacuum or mechanical advance, so it's quite easy to adapt. Here you can see the fuel pressure regulator and the MSD. The MSD is triggered by the computer so that we have complete control over the ignition timing. Well, here we are, it's all done. It's been to the dyno, it's got a tune in it.
So I guess it's time to take it for a test drive. Let's go and see how it goes.